From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2375, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. Our top story this week takes us to the state of Maine, where hams are expressing concern over a telecommunications bill that proposes a study on radio frequency emissions.
Ham radio operators in the state of Maine are keeping an eye on a bill in which lawmakers call for a study of radio frequency radiation emissions and the environmental impact of 5G technology. The bill is stalled for now in the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Technology. But according to a recent story in the Maine Monitor, hams in the state are concerned that such a study of 5G holds the potential for unintended restrictions of frequencies shared by amateur radio operators. Phil Duggan, N1EP, the ARRL section manager for Maine, told Newsline in an email that amateurs are seeking wording to be added to the bill that exempts amateur radio and public safety communications. Phil said that the ARRL New England Division Director, Fred Kimmerer, AB1OC, had advised hams to be on the alert as anti-5G bills are introduced in a number of state legislatures with wording that could impact ham radio. The bill in Maine, introduced by Republican lawmaker Tracy Quint, targets the telecommunications industry specifically, and its language does not mention amateur radio. Hams nonetheless have submitted written testimony protesting the bill, noting that hams are already required to conduct evaluations of their radio frequency radiation in compliance with FCC regulations that ensure safety. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
The U.S. Federal Communications Commission has changes planned for the 60-meter band and wants to hear from you.
Following the lead set at the World Radio Communications Conference in 2015 and adopted most recently by Canadian regulators, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has proposed changes to the 60-meter band that would allocate 15 kilohertz of contiguous bandwidth between 5351.5 and 5366.5 kilohertz for amateur radio on a secondary basis. U.S. general, advanced, and extra hams presently have 5 channels available to them between 5332 and 5405 kilohertz, also on a secondary basis, with an effective radiated power limit of 100 watts PEP. The proposed new bandwidth would set a limit of 15 watts EIRP. The National Telecommunications and Information Administration favors adoption of the new proposed bandwidth, with hams losing the ability to use 4 of the 5 permitted channels. The remaining channel would be included within the new contiguous portion of the 60-meter band. The ARRL, however, previously asked the FCC to keep the 4 60-meter channels that fell outside the new band and to retain the 100-watt power limit. The notice is to be published in the Federal Register in May, and comments from the public are due no later than 60 days after the notice appears. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
The changing of the guard continues. A founding member of a popular net that's a fixture on 80 meters has become a silent key.
John Knipping, AA9KC, was one of the original freewheelers on 3916 kilohertz. In November of 1998, he answered a call put out by Ken Odom, W4FCW, on 3916 kilohertz, and out of that early QSO bloomed a friendship and ultimately a popular net where everyone was welcome. John became a silent key on April 29th at the age of 92. According to his online obituary, he was a Korean War veteran, a musician, and a member of the Egyptian Radio Club. The tradition of easy camaraderie lives on, however. The net continues to make new friends and welcoming old ones every night on 80 meters, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
A reminder, the nominating period for the 2023 Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Young Ham of the Year Award is now open. You'll find more information and the nominating form on our website, arnewsline.org, under the Awards tab. We'll present the award in August at the Huntsville Hamfest in Alabama. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Andy Morrison, K9AWM, Patrick Clark, K8TAC, Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.